It's a land totaling 83.7 acres with C of O, but now 94 acres. We're still processing the C of O for the other 11 we've just bought. 83.7 acres of land consolidated over a 23-year period. We were never in rush. We didn't buy it yesterday. We bought it over a 23-year period, putting it together, putting the vision together so we can build something that is a testimony. Makarios Luxury Place, as you are here today, sits on the Lekki Expressway. So I would like to take you through the PowerPoint. I do hope I can get them to work, if they can help me with the slides. Okay. First of all, why did we choose to have a water display place? I've lived in the United Kingdom for 39 years. I still live there. My family is still there. My children were here with my grandchildren and my daughters-in-law. And every time we come, I want to impress my grandchildren with the need to continue to always be Nigerian. But then when we come, we're looking for a place to go in Lagos. And we don't often find. For a city of 22 to 27 million people, that is a disappointment. I believe that our vision in Makarios is therefore not to build an estate people will come and live in and just live. We wanted to build something that is a global statement. We wanted to build a place that will be the pride of you who are here today. BRG and other realtors and all our guests who are here today. Put your hands together for BRG, please. BRG is a conglomerate of real estate people who are with us today, and then there are some others. And I'm going to acknowledge all my guests at some point. We wanted to build a place that will make a statement. And I was a reluctant visitor to Dubai. I'm not exactly a tourist. I almost don't go anywhere unless I'm going to preach. But my wife is a dedicated Dubaian. Since that guy was telling us what various towns will be called. And my first visit to Dubai, I guess it was probably, I went for a birthday, the birthday of Pastor Biono Fatoibo of Kosa. And I went to the Dubai Marina. I was so blown away to see what nature and technology can do, combining water and technology to make an impact. So our water display place is not a figment of imagination. You are actually sitting in our water bowl right now. So make water no carry on a go. You are sitting in our water bowl. Matter of fact, it was today's launching that made us to delay the excavation of the 1.5 acres of the water bowl, which actually has thrown our project back a little bit. So instead of opening April 10 like we planned, we're going to open May 1, Labor Day, May 1. You come here May 1, Labor Day, you're going to see some serious display here. Please put your hands together and celebrate that. So the Makarios Water Place is a place where as you come, just in front of our estate here, we've taken like 3 meters of the setback plus 3 meters inside, and we are creating what is known as a promenade. You'll be able to sit on concrete seating as you watch the water display. So there will be a beautiful promenade in front of this from where you can watch the water display. And if you are wondering, how about the people on the street? We are going to build a wall, because if we are putting, guess how much it is costing us? $6 million to build Makarios Water, just the water place. We didn't need to do it. It doesn't make real estate sense. And having done business since I was 14, you shouldn't put $6 million in a place, but we're doing it because It is going to, number one, make a global statement. Number two, in fact, when we invited OASI to come and do it, they said there's nothing like it in sub-Sahara Africa. The only place they've been invited in Africa to do it is Morocco. And it's the government of Morocco that is doing it. So this is going to happen, and it's happening by May the 1st. We've already marked. We had to remove all our markings. Engineer Demola Daga, please stand up so they can see. These are one of our engineers who's worked very hard. Our COO, our consultant COO is not here today. Gamal Al-Haidi, who is from Egypt, is not here today. He unavoidably had to be in Anambra State. He's more like a Nigerian. He's lived there for 30 years, even though he's from Egypt. And other staff, at some point I'll introduce them. So this is the water place. Part of what will happen is this water you are looking at, it dances to music. Not only does it dance to music, then it will be concentrated to become a TV screen. And video will be projected. Video will be projected. So you came with your children, you bought ice cream from the mall. You sat at the promenade. Before you know, your children have paid us to say happy birthday. Which mommy shall we put here? Mommy Dorothy or Batan will say happy birthday, whatever your name is. You just see your name written on the water. There'll be video screen. Nigeria's independence will play the video. Lagos State is doing something major, we'll play the video. Nothing offensive. We'll play videos of musicians that are not immoral and that are not religious but just amoral in the middle. Because we don't want to offend anyone. Makarios is for everybody. I hope I make sense of this water place. It's going to be a major statement. It's going to be very major. 1.5 acres of the most prime part of our land is what we are using, the one which faces the road. But our mind is to see that we do something that you also can be proud of. And then beyond the water display, I like to talk about the whole of Makarios. Like I said earlier, it is 33 hectares. 33 hectares, 8,000 square meters of just the mall alone. My good friend and brother who's here today will say that is small for a mall. Mr. Akim Ogunira is here. He's the past CEO of UPDC. Most of you who know real estate. Please let us celebrate Mr. Akim Ogunira. But 8,000 is 2 acres of a mall that will just be at the back here. And then we have 1,000 square meters of office space. When you go out of this hall, the other side is still part of the commercial. We'll show you later how Makarios is divided essentially into 2 sections, commercial and residential. And if you don't live in Makarios and they didn't invite you, you cannot enter the residential. It's going to be like a fortress. Then we have 2,250 event hall. So that if you came to Makarios to wed, you can use the water place for your background, the event hall for your reception, or the children's park, which you will see later. The next slide. Here, Makarios shows you that we're going to be having an estate. I mean, most of the time, the people who are HNIs, high network investors, want a place which they can live and they didn't have to hassle, and they have rest, they have peace of mind. So Makarios will be a place where you have peace of mind because we have parks. And I was showing some people outside. Our layout approval was pursued by a one-time commissioner for physical planning, is the one who handled it for us, and the one-time president of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. So even where we wanted to compromise, he would say no way. So we have 1.5 acres of football field, basketball, and any other kind of sport you want to do. Then another 0.5 acre again. I'm just wondering who la virale yi. Our ball will be by yi. But we have so many parks in Makarios where it just means you're able to go sit down in the park and play in the park. Next slide. Makarios, like I told you, has a commercial section and a residential section. The commercial section has a major mall, which is 8,000 square meters, and we are likely to just sell the space to the people who build the mall, or we might build it ourselves and then look for a major carrier, a major business that will now attract the others. But certainly Makarios will be a place where you can come and shop and you can also dine. You see, Makarios has 4 things. It's a place to live, it's a place to work, it's a place to play, and it's a place to dine. So we have a grand mall still in the section that is commercial. Next slide. The next slide, please. Makarios is also a place where we have half an acre dedicated to an event hall. So that if you came to Makarios, the business section is where you can have your event. You can have your photographs at the various parks inside the commercial, and you can also have it in the water place. Next one. Makarios will have close to 10,000 people living there. At least that's the calculation from the water and mechanical engineering company who are working with us. They said eventually at its full stage, 10,000 people will live in Makarios. And obviously they will need school space for their children. Just behind the mall, therefore, we have a major space, about almost 2 acres set aside for school space. So for some of you asking, commercial space for sale, if there's somebody who wants to buy the space for the school, it basically means they are just plugging into an opportunity. Next thing about Makarios, next slide. This is the general picture of this area. I often feel like saying that Makarios is at the meeting point of Lekki and Ibeju. I don't like it when people say, oh, the place is in Ibeju. We are not in Ibeju. We are under Ibeju local government. One day that name will change and you'll find that it's the most respected place. You know, today people love to say they are in Lekki phase 1, but that used to be Morocco. How many of you remember when Lekki phase 1 was Morocco? Shanty town first class. Shantier than Ayeteju. So one day Ibeju is going to change. But Makarios is not really in Ibeju. We are on Lekki Express, albeit under Ibeju Lekki local government. And the advantage this gives us is that at the end of today's presentation, you will drive round, you will find that Makarios has 6 to 8 lane express in front and a 4-lane express at the back. So if you are coming into Makarios, you could, before you came to the front, turn and come through the back route and enter your house. Unless you are coming to the residential, you could also drive through the back to the residential, but to the commercial, but you cannot enter through the residential. We want to give the residential people first-class treatment. I think they deserve it. Put your hands together for our residents even before they come. Next slide. Makarios, why? Why this area? Firstly, it is expected that the level of industrialization in this area is going to be on a level like you have never seen. The largest deep sea seaport in this part of the world, the largest refinery outside of some parts of Europe, likely to kick off this year. We pray it happens so that all this QQQ will come to an end. It is an anachronism, an oxymoron, to be the producer of a product and yet you don't have the product. So this area of Lagos is going to become highly industrialized, which means a large number of people from around the world will come and live on this end. I remember when we were engaging the Egyptian gentleman who is now our consultant COO. He said, I see this area explode because the day is going to come when people who live in Lekki Phase 1 who come and work here will not want to do that journey anymore. They would like to live on this side. Why this area? Because it is referred to as the new Lagos, and we call Makarios the new Ikoyi. Come on, put your hands together for that. Why? Because with the landmark in Ibeju, Lekki, no area of Lagos will be more developed than this. You know, when you are the last to develop, you correct previous errors. And let me just tell you some things that may not be on this map, and the people in the village opposite us don't know, is that the mobile you saw in front of us will be going one day. The houses you saw in front of us will be going one day because a train line is coming there. I do hope they'll give me a better mic. A train line is coming that will come from Marina and take you to Ekpe. Come on, somebody celebrate that. So development is coming on a level like has never been seen, parallel to the road you saw. And I do apologize for the level of traffic you saw when you were coming. It's a current inconvenience for a future convenience. The road is being completely changed, and the quality of construction, if you can notice, is on a high level. It is such that the road will have a high durability. But on that parallel to the road will be a train line. So anyone who lives in this area will have the option of not only driving but being able to catch the train to go many places. While this area, Ibeju will rise to the top of the list of destinations sought after by tourists. And when that time comes, we want Makarios to be at the forefront of leading it. In the next 5-6 weeks, one of the engineers in OASE will be leaving Germany to come and do a final assessment before they begin to bring the pumps and the equipment to set inside the massive bowl we are building here. I was supposed to be with them in Germany in December. For some reason, I developed cold feet. I said, I'll stay in my house, and I'm glad I did the day after the snow took over their country. Why Ibeju? The deep sea port would link West African nations and support regional economic operations. For those who do not import, you may not know the hassle of bringing in containers and other stuff. Mr. Tayo Ladapo, who did the welcome speech, all he complains when he talks to me is that the hassle of bringing in his containers. He brings, any time you drink water in Nigeria or any drink that is bottled, the only man who imports all the filtration system is our Mr. Tayo Ladapo. So help us put your hands together for him. Next slide, please. All right, this is a panoramic view of Makarios. This is the 33 hectares, 83.7 acres. This is Lekki Expressway. You drove in through the front, but in the future you will not be so. The green you are looking at in front is our water display place. And just beside it to the to the east is the park for children. It's going to be a water park. It's just behind me here. It's going to be a water park with train driving inside. Come on, put your hands together and celebrate that. We're not imagining it. We're already in discussion with the company that will build it from South Africa. They currently are handling a project in the United States of America. And once they finish, next one will be Makarios. We also want to be very wise. We want one part to be presented, and while we're enjoying that, we open the next. Behind the water is the mall. Behind the mall is the office. And just behind all of them to the east is a car park of about 3 acres for everyone in the business district. One massive car park, whether you came to the water display place, you came to the restaurant in the mall, or you came to the office, one massive car park to handle everyone who comes, that is able to park between 2,000 and 3,000 cars. To the west of the commercial first building is a hotel, and we're looking forward to a 4-star hotel already designed. We will build it, but if somebody shows us a good money, we'll sell the design and the land and let them also be witnesses. Next to the hotel is an office complex. Remember, Makarios is a place where you work, you live, you play, you dine. So there'll be an office complex, and whoever is building the office complex, we want to work with them to create a multiplex kind of office complex where you can come and rent a room for your businesses, for your office work. And next to the office is the event place, which people can come and rent. Next to the event place will be a 2,000 square meter, half an acre land given by Makarios to KRCC so they can have a church there. It's free, but I'm looking at their national superintendent. They should bless Makarios by buying land in the residence. So 2,000 square meters of the commercial part will be a church building given to KRCC, and it's my vision, matter of fact, to come and help them pastor that one. And next to the church building, there's going to be a hospital. There'll be a hospital so that it is in the commercial section for 2 reasons. We don't want anyone who have an emergency in the area and there's no place to go. They're able to come into the commercial section to engage the hospital, which means somebody with a good practice can buy the hospital. The residential part of Makarios is broken into 3 or 4. I start with the west. The west of Makarios, this long part, is made up of 10-floor buildings. 10-floor buildings with 52 apartments in each of the buildings. 52 apartments, but high-end. Makarios does not want a barrack experience. I've had enough. I was born in the barracks. I don't want another barrack. So all the houses there will be 10-floor buildings, high-end apartments, residences. In fact, the top of the 10th floor will be a beautiful 5-bedroom penthouse, which will be more like a maisonette, so that it is double floor, which therefore we believe that there are people who want luxury, but they don't want to buy one plot of land for 2 billion naira anymore. And they want something that gives them the same quality of life. Same quality of life. And in a place that they can say this is good. So 10-floor buildings will line up here. In the middle will be 192 terraced houses. And we're going to show you what they look like later. The terrace houses, matter of fact, we've laid foundation for 24. We were waiting for our layout approval to be out before we can proceed, and it came out 4 p.m. yesterday. After 8 months instead of 2 months. Lagos State collects their money up front, 36 million for layout approval. Makarios does not want to build or sell land to you and say, we have COO, we have COO. COO is no guarantee that you are permitted to build. COO is no guarantee that every plot there should be sold. Proper roads should be created. Proper spaces should be put. So the middle has 192 terrace houses. Just below the middle, we have 18 detached houses. These detached houses will show you what they look like. Currently, there are 230 plots in Makarios available for sale. Having said 230, at the south of the land, Makarios acquired additional land. That was why I said used to be 83 square meters. It is now 94 square meters. But we are only talking of the 83 that has all the approval. Are you with me? I said, are you with me? The green areas are the various parks statutorily set aside and approved for recreation and the various events. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is the layout of the residentials. The one to the right are the terrace houses. There are 192 of the terraced houses, and there are 18 of the detached houses. I'll move to the next slide. Next slide. This is the terrace houses. We call it in Greek antizo. Antizo means to begin to bloom and begin to grow great. You may say this man likes Greek a lot. Part of the reason is we wanted to be different. We wanted to be unique. We wanted something you could identify with, something also that has its mystique. Its mystique. So the terrace houses, the antizo, is made up of 4 bedrooms, a staff apartment, space for your parking. There are 192 of them. And like I said earlier, we have engaged one of the companies in land, Dutum. I think they have a small stand out there. And they've already started building. Dutum is building the terrace houses, and they're also building our promenade. The promenade where you will stand to watch the water display, which will be in front. Next slide, please. This is the layout of the antizo, the terraced houses. So you're able to park your car on the ground floor. You have a guest room, your kitchen, and the staff room. Next one, next slide. And in the next floor, you have your living room, your dining, your service quarters. That is for your staff. Next slide. And on the last floor, you have the master bedroom, a walk-in closet, and you have a terrace to look out from, more bedrooms that are en suites, and the lobby. I'd like to go to the next slide. The next slide shows you the quality we want to build in Makarios. We want to build a house which people will feel that they are proud to live in Nigeria and to work if they work in this area. So this is antizo. This is the terrace houses. Next slide. This is one of my favorites. I keep wondering, maybe I'm going to even live in one of them, or just buy my plots from Makarios and build. But if I have to live in Makarios, this might be one of the ones I live in. The deliazo, which means to dazzle, to make a person enthralled, to put a person under, to make a person awestruck. I was reading my Bible this morning, and it says in Luke chapter 5, I think verse 9 or 10 in the New Living Translation, and Peter was awestruck as he looked at Jesus. We want you to live in Deliazo, and you and your guests are awestruck. Because Deliazo has 6 bedrooms, 6 reception. It has a cinema for you, so you don't have to go. You can show it in your house. It has space for your parking. And for those who buy early, Makarios will throw in a swimming pool, which is worth about 15 million free to them for those who buy the Deliazo. So you might as well present that to your friends. Let me show you the layout of the Deliazo. It is on 3 floors, ground floor, first floor, and second floor. Next slide, please. And again, we want to give attention to quality. We want to give attention to quality. That's why we're bringing in other companies to build to specification and to specification. Next slide, please. The third build of Makarios will be the 10th floor apartments. We call it two names. We either call it the Akmazo or we call it Imperial Towers. There is a tower that has 52 apartments. Some of them are just 1 bedroom, some are 2 bedroom, and then there are 5 bedroom maisonettes there too. The Imperial Towers will be a place where a person wants an apartment, does not want a big house. However, they want quality. This gives us the chance to max the land. It gives us the chance to give more people the opportunity to live in Makarios. It gives a young family, an upwardly mobile individual, the chance to be able to live where they can be proud to say, I live in Makarios. All the prices of these various houses and apartments are available for you today, and I'll be ready to take your question when I finish my presentation. This essentially is the design. You may not be able to just grasp it, but we're just trying to let you know that on the ground floor, there'll be a reception area, there'll be a common area, and we're looking at the possibility in each of these 10th floor buildings to have your own gym, your own hall, your own pool. Certainly, each one of them will have 2 lifts to carry people. But certainly, it is of quality, it is outstanding, and it will be on the level of whatever you see anywhere. In fact, I believe that you will be able to proudly say you live in Makarios. And those who take advantage now will one day be able to find that within a short time, whether it's the land or the houses, the value increases in their land, in their hand. Next slide. And then the next slide, please. Next slide. Now we come to the plots. Makarios wants to do something very different. We waited 23 years. We never sold a plot to anyone. And matter of fact, and in those 23 years, all we did was invest. If Makarios is exposed by way of borrowing, it will be that we borrowed to do the roads. Because when we finish and you go out now, you'll find that Makarios has 27 roads, all ready. When this event finishes, the 3 major roads will be tarred, and the 23 smaller ones or 24 smaller ones, their paving stones are ready. Ready. We have engineer Femi Falayi, whose company is the road contractors. Please stand up so we can appreciate you. Put your hands together for him. I feel that we have people who can do good job and we can engage them. Femi Falayi are the ones who also did the road in Ituno. One more time, put your hands together for him. So we have at the moment, within the approved layout, 230 plots, all in blocks. The whole of Makarios is made up of 17 blocks, and we're only selling in 2 blocks at the moment, only 50 plots. When we finish selling the 50 plots, we'll take a break. And when we come back in 3 months' time, the price will not be the same as what it was. So Makarios plots would have electricity, cables already put in, the water would already be there, the drainage system will be central, so that whatever you did in your bathroom, number 1 or number 2, is going centrally to a central sewage system. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of Comment Engineering, who are building all our mechanical, electrical, plumbing, other letters I did not remember. Engineer Ayeteju, put your hands together, please. Engineer Ayeteju has handled several estates you may not even know. Pinnock Beach Estate. That's where I got impressed with their work, because that's where I have a little house, and anytime it rains, no matter how it rains in Lagos, you never see water for 30 seconds. And also, I must also acknowledge Mr. Akim Ogunniran on that one, because he was committed to see that estate stood out. Today, everybody's boasting about Pinnock. Please celebrate Akim Ogunniran one more time, former UPDC CEO. So that is what we want to do in Makarios. Each plot, as you come in, you plug into electricity, you plug into water, you plug into the sewage system. You may not know the hassle it takes away from you. So when people hear of some cheap plot somewhere, they do not know the consequences of buying those plots that don't have a layout approval or have all those amenities in place. Next. And so we come, okay, I've practically presented the commercial section, I'll talk a little bit more about it, and then we'll take the questions. So we have the mall, then we have the hotel. While I was out there, somebody asked a question, which I think we will take on board. Can this hotel be a place where you don't only rent a room, you can even rent an apartment? And even if you don't rent an apartment, maybe buy the apartment and rent it out as Airbnb. We'll look at it, I like it, because I've stayed in a hotel like that in Johannesburg called Michelangelo. I'm sure some of these people who travel a lot will remember the Michelangelo. Some of the play rooms in Michelangelo are sold apartments. So the hotel collects rent on behalf of the owner. 40% to the owner, 60% to them. You can't blame them. They are, of course, now they are the ones who took all the aggravation of the tenants who stay